Women's Rugby World Cup fantasy game is now live. If you want to fly up the rankings but you don't know where to start, you're in the right place. Whether you're a seasoned fantasy rugby player or brand new to the game, this guide will walk you through everything you need to know, from scoring to captaincy, transfers, boosters, and the best strategies to get ahead. I'll also be running through which matches you need to target in each round for big fantasy points. Thousands of people are already signing up for the Women's Rugby World Cup fantasy game, but most will make the same rookie mistakes. Stick around and I'll make sure that you're not one of them. By the end of this video, you'll have a rock solid strategy, a competitive squad, and the edge over your rivals. So let's dive in. So let's start off by taking a look at the game. The official Women's Rugby World Cup game can be found at play.world.rugby/fantasy. It's a salary cap style fantasy game from the makers of the Rugby Championship and Super Rugby official games. In the game, you've got a budget of $100 to pick your team of 15 players. You've got to pick one hooker, two props, two second rows, three back rows, one scrum half, one fly half, two centres, and three outside backs. Once the tournament gets underway, you can make unlimited transfers for each round. One nice innovation, and for those of you who played the Rugby Championship game and the Super Rugby game, will be familiar if you played them, is the boosters. So there are 3 boosters that are available for the Women's Rugby World Cup game. These are slightly different to the Rugby Championship and the Super Rugby games, but will be the same as the boosters that they had in the last Men's Rugby World Cup tournament. These boosters are the triple captain, so your chosen player will have their match score tripled. The super kicker, who will score double points on some kick-related metrics, and then the defensive pro, who will get double points for a number of different defense-related metrics. I'll talk about strategy for using these boosters later on in this video. Being the official game, it will no doubt be hugely popular with a big player pool, so you're definitely recommended to sign up. Make sure you join the Fantasy Rugby Geek League. It's already filling up nicely. The league pin to join is ZN875VEX, and the direct link to join can be found in the video description. Speaking of leagues, so I've set up the official Fantasy Rugby Geek League, but I've also got a second very special prize league set up, the Women's Rugby World Cup on the official game. So for those of you who followed me during the Six Nations, you may remember the podcast that I made for the Six Nations with my good friend Paul Tristram. It was called Six Nations Fantasy Rugby Geeks on the Go. It was on Spotify and we had great fun making it, and we loved hearing the feedback from you guys about the podcast itself. So unfortunately last week Paul was dealt the devastating news that he needs immediate open heart surgery. Due to misreadings on his scans, it's become critical that he gets this surgery as soon as possible. Due to no fault of his own, there are no NHS appointments until January, and as a result his immediate surgery will need to be scheduled privately, costing £30,000. A GoFundMe page has been set up by Paul's fiancée, his family and friends to raise funds for his surgery, and a link for this can be found in the description of this video. To help raise funds, I've set up prize leagues for both the Rugby Championship and the Women's Rugby World Cup. 50% of the prize pot for this league will go directly to Paul's GoFundMe, and the remaining 50% will go to the winners. The entry fee to join the league is £10, and then the prize pot will be distributed 25% to the winner, 15% to second place, and 10% to third place, and the remaining 50% will go directly to Paul's GoFundMe page. To join, just get in touch. You can email me at fantasyrugbygeek@gmail.com, or you can DM me on the Fantasy Rugby Geek X page or the Fantasy Rugby Geek Instagram page. Just get in touch and I'll share details of my PayPal for you to send me the entry league. Once I've received the entry fee, then I'll email back the link to join the private league. Okay, thank you. Now, let's run through some of the top tips to help you get off to a flying start for the Women's Rugby World Cup. First up, choose your captain wisely. There are double points available for captain, so choose your skipper wisely. You can play it safe with a kicker, or you can consult the try scoring stats to see if there's any player in particular who's expected to score some big tries in the match. Next up, and this is a big one, plan ahead of your boosters. So to recap, there are 3 boosters that are available, and they can all be played in the pool stage once, and they can all be played in the knockout stage once. So you can actually play one booster in every single round of this year's tournament. The 3 boosters are triple captain, so your captain scores you triple points in their next match. The super kicker, so the player that you apply the super kicker booster will score double points for the following kicking-based scoring metrics in their next match. This includes conversion scored, conversion missed, penalty scored, penalty missed, drop goal scored, drop goal missed. But be careful as well, because if they miss them, then the minus points also apply. Then we've got the defensive pro. So the player you apply the defensive pro booster will score double points for the following defensive-based scoring metrics in their next match. And again, this also includes double negative scores for missed tackles. So each turnover forced, each interception they've made, and each tackle they've made. Now, looking at these in a bit more detail, it goes without saying that the triple captain should be someone you'd back to have a huge all-round game. The super kicker, someone you expect to have a huge day with their boot. And the defensive pro needs to be a high-performing turnover and tackle machine on a day where you think they will likely need to put in a big defensive shift. For the pool stage, my current thought process is as follows. So for the triple captain, I'll be targeting one of the biggest mismatches to try and have a player looking for a safe haul. So I'm looking at round 2 for this, potentially with someone like Ellie Kildunn versus Samoa, when England play them on the 30th of August, or maybe someone like Joanna Grise or Morgan Bourgeois versus Brazil on the 31st of August. Both are good opportunities. For the super kicker, again, I'll be looking at a mismatch for a player likely to get a lot of shots at the posts. This is more than likely going to be in round 1 for me, and one name that stands out to me is Canada's Sophie de Goede. And then for the defensive pro, I'll be looking at the individual defensive stats after the first 2 rounds to see if there are any real defensive outliers, and I'll put it on them in round 3. Right now, looking at it, I would say this metric is made for someone like Evie Gallagher, who's a turnover and tackle machine, and who also happens to have a very tough match against Canada in round 3. So will more than likely be needed to put in a big defensive shift. So next up, use your budget carefully. You've got a budget of $100 for 15 players, which gives you just 6.6 per player. Unsurprisingly, the premium players also have premium price tags. However, there are also some big potential bargains to be had, including the likes of Francesca McGee, Chloe Rolly, Gabby Cantorna, Courtney Kate, Aziza Hele, Evie Gallagher, Bawawa Latcha, May Campbell, Georgia Ponsonby, and Vittoria Vecchini. All are worth a look in, and all should allow you to bring in premium stars elsewhere. Next, load up with kickers. There's no limit on the amount of kickers that you can select, and kicks are guaranteed points. So while you're restricted to 1 fly half, there are kickers also playing in other positions. This includes scrum half with Kira Bevan, fullback with Morgan Bourgeois, and even second row with Sophie de Goede, for example. So if they're kicking and they're not playing the fly half position, just sign them up. It's easy points. Finally, target any potential mismatches. The Rugby World Cup provides a rare opportunity for the lower ranked nations of World Rugby to face up against the very top of the elite nations. And as a result, with this provides the prospect of some considerable mismatches and some maybe very big point hauls. The biggest mismatch on paper is on Sunday the 31st of August, when the might of France, who are world ranked number 4, take on Brazil, who are world ranked number 25. In addition to this, there are several matchups with the potential for very big hauls. When a big side lines up against the likes of Spain, Fiji, Samoa or Brazil, then that's time to load up. Round by round, these are the matches that I'm going to be targeting. So for round 1, the games that I'll be targeting are England versus the USA, Australia versus Samoa, Canada versus Fiji, South Africa versus Brazil, and New Zealand versus Spain. Then into round 2, I'll be looking at Canada versus Wales, Scotland v Fiji, England v Samoa, Ireland versus Spain, New Zealand versus Japan, and France v Brazil. And then finally into round 3, I'll be targeting Canada versus Scotland, USA versus Samoa, England versus Australia, Italy taking on Brazil, and France taking on South Africa. So that should be enough to get you started. Throughout the Women's Rugby World Cup, I'll be sharing insights and strategies to help you climb the leaderboard and earn ultimate bragging rights in your leagues. Both here on the FRG YouTube channel, so please like and subscribe, and also over at fancyRugbyGeek.com, where I'll be posting my usual weekly tips and players to watch. I'll also be sharing up-to-the-minute fancy news on X, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, and Instagram. And if you want an extra edge, I have my members-only site, FRG Premium, on buymeacoffee.com. For £10 a month subscription, you'll be able to see my personal team reveals, not just for the Women's Rugby World Cup, but also for the Prem, URC, and others, as well as the ongoing Rugby Championship. And you'll be able to share your team with me for direct feedback on any changes I recommend, So please sign up. There's a link in my description. So that's it. Get signed up to the fantasy game, subscribe to my channel, join my leagues and get picking. And if you've got any questions at all, just let me know in the comments.